What's going on, my people? Welcome back to another episode of Arts Aroma. Well, of course, we are too clean, too mean. Arts Aroma is a dopamine. Today's a special episode because I want to bring out a fragrance that is one of those like you just have to have in your collection. It's not one of those fragrances that I would say if you're just starting your collections that you need to be your first purchase, but it's one of those as you start to elevate, as you start to expand and take fragrances and colognes for different moments, different times. This is definitely one of those ones you want to have in your repertoire. So tap in. Today I have for you all MFK Grand Soir. So with this fragrance, I'm a believer that every fragrance, every cologne, every perfume, once you really get to know what you have and advancing your palette when it comes to fragrances, has a time and a place. And this one's time and place is definitely in the winter and fall seasons. It can still shine in those spring and summer seasons, but it more so needs to be at night. You're going on a date with your lady, something along those lines. I poured up a glass of wine just to kind of show you all what the setting, what the mood is when you pull out this fragrance. You want to pull out this fragrance when you invite a lady over. Even if you're just getting to know her, she's gonna smell this and think, wow, he smells so smooth, but yet so intellectual. And again, fellas, it smells kind of, if I had to put it into words, just rich and smooth. And again, for me, this isn't one of those fragrances that I say you bring out every single day or you bring out in the height of the summer when it's oh so hot. No, you wanna build up your collection to the point where you feel comfortable that no matter what the setting is. I have a fragrance that I use for graduation. I have a fragrance that I use for date night. I have a fragrance where if the date night goes well, where you come back to the house and I'm switching, once you take a shower, I'm putting on a whole new fragrance. So fellas, that's my charge to you all. I want you all to build your collection and really grow. And it'll help you stand out from the other fellas in the crowd. And that's what we're trying to do. So earlier when I was talking about a word, what this reminds me of, I said smooth and I said rich. So the first question that will pop up in my head is, if it smells rich, do your pockets have to be rich to get it? And the answer to that is, likely so. The price of this product, if you go to MFK's site, is $245. So that's kind of a steep price, I'm not gonna lie to you. And a lot of people might not want to spend that on a fragrance. So again, that's why I said this isn't a must-have, but it definitely is one of those as you build up, you want to have in your collection to pull out. But I would say, if you don't want to pay the $245, I definitely recommend. If you ever seen the episode of Everybody Hates Chris, they have someone called Risky. Matter of fact, let's cut to a clip to let you know exactly who Risky is.
My last option was to go to Risky. Since all his stuff was stolen, I knew he wouldn't call a cop. He'd get you liquor.
It's for my uncle.
Yeah, don't drink it all at once.
He'd get you cigarettes.
It's for my mother.
Yeah, don't smoke them all at once.
He could even get you plutonium.
It's for my daughter. Do not use this all at once.
Now that we're back, I think it's important to say Arts Aroma does not condone or does not support any illegal activity. All I'm saying is figure out your avenues. Figure out where you can get this product from that's gonna fit your pocket. So would I say to blind buy this fragrance? I would say no, but I will give you some of the notes so you kind of understand what's in the fragrance and what it's made of. So some of the top notes are rose, honey, Spanish, labdanum. My bad if I'm saying this wrong, but you get the picture. Do your research. Some of the middle notes is benzoin, siam, cumin, incense. Some of the base is Brazilian tonka bean, amber, vanilla, and musk. That's one thing that I'm really finding in a lot of fragrance. That is probably one of my most favorite things is the vanilla. My nose, it attracts me as that vanilla. So this has that, and this may be why I love it so much and why I think it's just got that, we think of vanilla, it's got that sweet and that smooth smell. So that's probably why this is that late night, date night, smooth kind of fragrance. And fellas, I'm telling you, it's gonna make you stand out. So I always wanna make sure I leave you all with kind of a testimonial or a personal story in when this fragrance worked well for me, but I also this time want to give you a personal time where it didn't work so well. So, and that's where you kind of got to test and know your fragrances and know when to and when not to wear them. That's why you got to tap in with Arts Aroma so I can tell you exactly what to do. and make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this video. So a personal story for me where it didn't go well was I wore it, it was summertime, it probably was about 90 something degrees, and it was just one of those times where I went out and I was going to make a couple moves, going to make a couple runs, and it was so hot and so muggy. I don't know if it makes sense, but you ever feel like a fragrance just kind of weighed you down? Like it just didn't fit. It just wasn't right. You just didn't, even though you could smell yourself and you know, this just isn't my freshest. That's kind of how I felt with Grand Soir. So that's why I never put it on. And like right now, we're recording this in August. So right now, I definitely would not be putting this on in 90 something degree weather. But if I had a young lady come over or we're going out on a date night, I definitely would rock this. Once it gets a little more chill, in like around 70 degree weather, unless it's perfect. Now, a positive testimony is, because I don't want what I just said to deter you or make you feel like, oh, no, I'm not going to get this fragrance. No, it's definitely a good cop. I wouldn't have it in my collection and be telling you about it if it wasn't. So a good time that I wore it was, I took a young lady on a date, and I went to go pick her up. And so you know I had to pull out the Grand Soir. And I put it on, she got in the car immediately. As soon as she got in the car, the first thing that she said was, ooh, you smell good. And then to top it off, because, you know, it could be she's just interested in me. So, you know, she's going to, no matter what I had put on, if I smell like something, she would compliment me. We went somewhere, we were eating some ice cream, and somebody walked up and said, whoever is wearing that, I'm not sure who it is, you smell great. Now, she knows they're talking about me, and they're talking about Arts Aroma. I know that, she know that. And I just appreciated the compliment without even really accepting it. Because I know that she know that I know that we know that everybody know it was Arts Aroma. So make sure you cop that. And we thank y'all for another episode, for tuning in with us. As usual, Arts Aroma is too clean, too mean. Arts Aroma is a dopamine.